Hello, Starknet Fam. Welcome to the first Starknet GitcoinShill party. Seeing that we'll be exploring some of the Starknet projects that are listed on the ongoing Gitcoin Grant 19 that began just last Wednesday. And so we'll have a look at the projects that are listed there. And here we have some representatives from these projects. We have Klaman, founder from the Starknet Project, a blockchain-powered spreadsheet platform where each cell is basically an NFT. And this obviously enables different kinds of potential use cases. Hello, Clement. Welcome. How are you?
Hi, Nastas. Thanks for creating this space, and always happy to be here to talk about Starknet a bit and give more hints about how it can be useful.
Awesome. It's a pleasure to have you here. We're also very lucky to have Chessie, core contributor at Carmine, a protocol that is pioneering decentralized options trading on Starknet. Hello, Chessie. How are you doing?
Hey guys, I'm doing great. It's really nice to be here and always looking forward to these spaces where we can have more influence within the Starknet ecosystem.
Absolutely. Last but not least, let's also welcome Colin, contributor at JediSwap, a permissionless and community-driven AMM that, according to DeFi Llama, has the highest total value locked on Starknet. And it is also the Starknet project that received the most donations in the previous Gitcoin round. So hello, Colin. Thanks for coming.
Hey, Nustar. Thanks for the invitation. I'm really happy to be here with Clement and Jesse. Really great to be there along with the other top-tier projects. Looking forward.
Awesome, guys. So let's start this GitcoinShill party by learning more about your projects. So starting with Clement from Starknet, the floor is yours, sir.
Yes, so basically, Starknet project that has been started a bit more than a year ago, a very early project in Starknet, and since then maintained thanks to the Gitcoin grant. So each quarter, some of the donators are here and contributors help me pushing this project, keep updating it and new features. In 2 words, maybe 3 words anyway, what Starknet is like a spreadsheet. So the goal is that normally spreadsheet users are able to use it without really having to think about how it works. The only difference with a spreadsheet is that instead of the developer, so myself, creating a list of available functions like product, sum, whatever are available if you go to Google Sheet, for example, you can call any contract that is already deployed on the underlying blockchain, which means that like if you are in a cell, instead of typing like equal sum A1, B2, you can do like equal, and then you type the address of a contract that you want to call, and then it will display all the functions available in this contract. So which means that the spreadsheet is really powered up by the whole blockchain and not only by a set of limited functionalities developed once, which means as well that someone pushes something on the blockchain, the spreadsheet gets new features, without having to do anything else. And which means as well that if you want to start to create a bit of logic, mixing piece of information from different contracts, then you can really easily in a cell get the information from the first contract. In another cell, you get the information from the other contract. And then in a third cell, for example, you do the sum or you do what you can do in a spreadsheet. You can link everything. And so, yeah, that's mainly this. Well, I don't hear you, Nastar. You're muted.
Yeah, sorry, guys. And as you saw, I shared the screen, and I also logged into a grid of Starknet. I'm not very good at it, as I told the Clement, but this is also, you can see it is a sort, a spreadsheet, and you can program, I suppose, right? You can program the different cells, and you can also, like, for example, you could also plan a NFT drop using Starknet. Yeah. Am I correct?
Yes, so definitely what I have explained is the core mechanism of Starknet, but on top of that, I made the decision to respect the ERC 721 standard, so that at the end, each cell not only is a cell where you can do some computation, but is only from the blockchain point of view a regular NFT. So this allows several things. The first thing is that if you just want to do an NFT drop, if you have a sheet, it's done. I mean, minting the cell would actually like create a standard ERC720 so standard NFT collection. But it also means that each cell is a bit more. It's like a dynamic NFT. There is this so-called dynamic NFT that exists not only on Starknet but on the blockchain, and it's been quite trendy since a year maybe. Meaning that the value of the NFT, so what is rendered when you look at it, or the metadata of the NFT, can change given some external condition. And in this context, the condition are the value that you put in the cell, or maybe because the cell is the result, like if it's an addition, the value depends on two other cells, and the value would change as well. So this is possibly just a basic NFT, but also possibly something more complex. For example, I did an NFT collection for the Onlydesk contributors like a few months ago called the Dusty Pilots. And so I created a sheet to make the NFT drop, and to create a bit of gamification for the drop, the randomness of the NFT, like what NFT would you have when you mint, was depending on the number the user would input in the cell. So that inputting 10 would create would be used as a random seed for the eventual NFT image I had. And it was made on purpose, of course, because only those contributors that are engineers. And it was possible, if you were a bit like clever and looked at the code and so on and so forth, to get the exact NFT you wanted to have if you entered the right number and so on and so forth. So you can create a bit of a gamification layer as well on your drop using a sheet instead of a basic launchpad, I would say.
I see. Yeah, that's very interesting. I remember the drop you did with Only Dust, and looking forward to the next one as well. And yeah, so let's move to Carmine with Chessie. So Chessie, would you mind explaining to us what Carmine is and how it is being developed on Starknet, please?
Yeah, sure. So Carmine Finance is an options protocol, as you mentioned. The idea is that people can easily hedge their crypto positions, or in the future maybe other positions as well outside of crypto that we might be onboarding into the protocol. But we launched on Starknet mainnet like half a year ago, and right now our pools are capped at not very high because we're still going under some audits, and we are in Cairo 0, but the code actually for Cairo 1 is finished. We're soon going to have it audited, and then we can go live on mainnet without a liquidity cap, most likely. So in the future, there are many interesting things to come. But what's different for our options protocol that's different from other protocols in crypto is that we actually use the liquidity pools capital. We utilize it really well. So we get most from the liquidity we already have. And we can also, users can buy and sell options in our AMM. That's different to some other crypto options protocols. And that actually opens the door for many new use cases that could be built with Carmine Finance, such as insurance and hedging against impermanent loss. Also, right now we're catering to mostly to retail users, or anybody can use the protocol really, but we are just guessing that there are many retail users. But in the future, we are having stuff in mind that we can cater to businesses as well. For an example, lending protocols, we can ensure their lending risk by monitoring the risk of their under the water loans, and then they can buy options as a hedge to offer even bigger loans. So there's a lot of stuff to come for Carmine Finance, and we're really excited for that.
Very well. Thanks a lot, Chessie, for that. And yeah, I remember having Marek, founder of Carmine at the Star Cafe, and he was very good at explaining options in a very simple way. I was very fascinated by like his masterclass. And I also had a look at Carmine a couple of weeks ago, and like I think you're doing a great job at like at trying to also involve people who have no experience with such a complex financial instrument. And I think you've been doing a great job. and really looking forward also to seeing your version powered by your mainnet version powered by Cairo 1 contracts. As I remember that you deployed a testnet version powered by Cairo 1 contracts. So it will be nice to see the new version. I also saw that you changed the design in the testnet version. So looking forward to seeing to playing with the next version. And do you think is it coming soon?
Yeah, I think right now the code is practically finished. Maybe there are a couple of things we need to improve on, and then maybe I can't speak too much about it, but there are plans for an audit, and once the audit finishes, or once we complete the audit, then we're ready to go live. But one thing actually interesting about crypto, I think, as you also mentioned, that options are not a very popular financial instrument here in crypto, but in traditional finance it really is. So it's funny that people here shift towards perps a lot more than options, but maybe as the space matures as well, then we might see a bit of a shift there.
Absolutely, hopefully. And Colin, would you like to tell us a bit about Jedi Swap that is also like not new to Gitcoin grants? So yeah, looking forward to your explanation.
Sure, happy to do that. And I'll actually focus also on the broader things we do, because Jedi Swap itself is an AMM that does not need much explanation. It's like Uniswap basically. But the special things are it's 100% built by community. So there's no company, there are no venture capital investors, there's no employees. It's only contributors like myself. And that's why we depend actually only on the Gitcoin funding for our activities, and have been consistently one of the top projects there. I think in all time, checking the stats, all time we've been #1 project by funders count, and in the last round, for example, we were #2 by the funders count and by the amount that we received. And so what's special next to being community-led is also it's not just about the AMM platform, it's also about providing educational content to the Starknet ecosystem. For example, we recently published a blog post about how people can use Cairo for building dApps, and also about the gaming ecosystem on Starknet specifically. And next to the education, there's a third pillar, which is the public goods. So we, for example, are contributing to the Starknet React library, base64 encoding in Cairo, and other things like that on the technical side. And what we're also very excited about is the contributor credentials that we're working to bring on chain. So you can imagine you can have any project that's built by a community. It does not have to be Jedi Swap. They could use our on-chain credential system to manage their contributors. For example, you can imagine it like if you have your CV on chain. So it's like a proof of the projects you worked on, which skills you are good at, things like that. And we're pretty excited to bring that to the public. Maybe also quickly some progress updates since the last funding round. We had a good amount of trading volume coming in, also thanks to the trading competition we had ongoing and the LP competition. And we launched our dashboard, which you're seeing right now on the screen. That's also, it's for me, it feels old, but it's still relatively new. It was launched in the summer after the last Gitcoin round. And what else there? Then in looking into the future, with the current focus is to launch our version 2, which will offer concentrated liquidity and also much better capital efficiency and execution prices. And this will also be interesting in connection to what Jesse just explained on the using options to hedge impermanent loss, because if you provide liquidity to a concentrated range, you will also experience, you will amplify basically the impermanent loss, and you could then offset this with buying options on Carmine. So the ecosystem also becomes more interconnected through those strategies. Yeah, I think that's pretty much a good overview. Let me know if you want to dive me into any specific aspect, give more background.
Very well, Colin. Thanks a lot.
Can I ask the question maybe?
Sure.
I was wondering regarding Jedi Swap, because we have seen on Starknet that now we have like maybe 2 AMM with concentrated liquidity. Like there is Ecubo, I think, and MySwap, it as well recently. So do you have a plan to do this kind of update as well?
Yes, that's pretty much what I just said with our upcoming version 2 that will have concentrated liquidity. So the contracts are already done. We're just working on the front end and also considering on the audit side if we can do something there. So I won't give an exact date, but the goal would be towards the end of this year that we can have concentrated liquidity feature live.
Okay, thanks.
Very well. Thanks a lot, Colin. And I'm really impressed by, also the DAO-like structure that the Jedi Swap has when it comes to its contributors. And it is amazing the way you coordinate each other, also the way you manage to, to raise a lot of funding through Gitcoin. And actually, I have a question for you guys. Like, I want you to know, like Colin already touched on this, as the Jedi Swap has participated to many grounds already. But yeah, I wanted to know a bit more about how did your last Gitcoin Round go like, and how it helped you and your project develop itself. We can start with Colin, maybe from the last to the first.
Sure, as I already briefly mentioned, so in the previous round we were number 2 by the amount of people that contributed and also by the value of US dollars received. And yeah, as I said, for us, this is the only source of funding we have. So the Gitcoin grants are essential. And we also reward the people who grant the Jedi Swap with very nice NFTs. They have no monetary value, but it's just basically a token of saying thank you to the users who contribute. And you will also get a special role on our Discord after claiming that NFT. Yeah, that's. I think there's not so much more to say about the previous rounds. We're pretty consistently been at the top of the leaderboards there.
Fair enough, Colin. And what about Carmine, Jesse?
Yeah, so of course Teleswap is the grand pearl of Starknet in terms of Gitcoin rounds because it's always near the top. But actually with Carmine Finance, the last round was our first round that we took part in Gitcoin, and we didn't go in with too many expectations, but actually we had over almost 2,000 unique contributors or contribute like people who donated. So that was a huge success for us because we didn't have too much community power, I think, before that time, and we just launched on mainnet, so people didn't recognize us too well. But seeing the Starknet community come together and support each other, it's a really nice gesture.
Awesome. And what about like Starknet, Klaman? We can't hear you. You have the mic muted.
Yeah, I was actually looking at the stat in the meantime. So it's the third round that we do. First one was maybe the fourth one. One is missing, I think. Anyway, and we see an increasing number of unique contributors. I mean, we are not such a big project like GDSwap, of course, and I'm always impressed by the figures that they can have. But still, I mean, it's because I'm the solo founder anyway. For me, like having a few hundred person contributing, it's already like very nice, just helping me keeping pushing like the updates and new features and stuff. So yeah, we had, I don't know, like 500 contributors in April, 900 in August. So maybe for this round, I will reach the bar of 1K contributor. We'll see.
Awesome. So guys, we've come to the part where we'll be sharing the grants page from Gitcoin. So starting with the one for Starknet. As you can see, you can contribute through the latest Gitcoin round. Starknet is actually in the Web3 open source software category. And then basically you can contribute using the PGN bridge. And sorry, the PGN network, which is a layer 2 powered by Gitcoin. And if you don't have funds there, and if you're playing with it for the first time, you can just bridge funds from Ethereum L1 through the bridge that you will see on the home page. And so this is the grants page of Starknet. And you can also read a lot of details about Starksheet, also the some numbers about their team, the numbers of the team sites, the total prior funding, and so on. And then we can also see the page about Carmine. That is also to be found in the Web3 open source software category. And yeah, you can read additional information about them, and see also what they did in the previous round in terms of funding and so on. Then we move to Jedi Swap. As we see, is very it is a project that is very popular on Gitcoin, and then you can read more info about it. And also we can see that congratulations, because you've already raised more than $3,000 in only 2 days. That is very remarkable. And for the people who are not familiar with Gitcoin grants, basically each category there is a matching amount of money. For example, in the Web3 open source software and in the Web3 community, there's like, if I remember well, 200,000 USD dollars. So sorry, USDC, and basically each donation that is made with a Gitcoin passport, which is basically a thermometer for your on-chain activity. And if you score more than 18 in the passport scoreboard, basically your donation will be matched with some of that money, depending on your donation or how many donations you've done, and so on. So basically, this, for example, this $3,000 in the end, after the round, after a couple of weeks, because they check all the donations, they fight Sibyl attacks and stuff like that. But this donation will turn out to be higher because it will be matched with the funds from the matching amount. And also, having said that, obviously, I wanted to remind you that also our team has a grant page there. So if you want to support us for the educational formats that we've been running about Starknet, feel free to donate to us as well. And we'll make sure to invest it on on fundamentals-driven Starknet focused content. And also, I would like to take advantage to say thank you to some of our friends who also who are also listening to us, watching to us right now. So Mart, there's also Fabio Catalao. We've been doing a monthly news recap about Starknet in Portuguese for his Starknet, for his community, for his Brazilian community. And yeah, we can also move to the last question of today. Then I'll be scrolling down other Starknet friendly grant pages. But yeah, for the time being, I wanted to ask you, do you think that Starknet and its projects should get more exposure in Gitcoin Grounds? Because as you can see, there aren't many Starknet projects listed. So how can we make that happen? Who would like to start?
I can go ahead if you like. So I think definitely it would be great to get more exposure for Gitcoin for other Starknet projects or for the ecosystem. Maybe one way to do that is to have like a community round, which is also something you can launch through Gitcoin, like outside of the official rounds, basically. There could be one for Starknet maybe. Or actually even better, I think it would be nice to integrate Starknet more into like the overall ecosystem of other rollups, because very often you have this group of rollups, both the CK ones and optimistic ones, and then Starknet is often kind of on its own with a super strong community, but sort of separate from the other ecosystems, maybe because of Cairo programming language, I don't know, but it would be nice to bring Starknet also more into the general L2 rollups, because I think this is not going to be a winner takes all. There's going to be many rollups that coexist, and we should make an effort that Starknet is part of that broader ecosystem, I guess.
With you, Colin. And what about you, Chassis?
Yeah, definitely. I think it would be good for Starknet if we had more projects in the Gitcoin grants. As like also it's probably not a secret that many airdrop farmers and some big Twitter KOLs are looking through different Gitcoin projects and making their lists on what projects they are supporting whatsoever. And if they reach maybe 100,000 people with their posts, if they include some Starknet projects, maybe some more people come on Starknet, bridge their funds here, try out the projects, see how they like it. Maybe they start exploring the tech more. Maybe they find themselves really homely in our communities. So definitely, the more exposure we have as a layer 2 in Gitcoin grants or anything like it, then the better it is.
Absolutely. And absolutely. And I was thinking about do you think that the fact that the current round is being hosted on the PGN network is being a bit deterrent for donors, because it is a network that is not very well known, and also given the high gas fees currently on Ethereum, it could be a bit more expensive for users, for donors to donate to the projects, as opposite to the latest round, which was supported mostly on optimism, and it was definitely very cheap to donate. What do you think, Clement?
Actually, I was wondering why it's more expensive on the PGN, because I thought that the PGN was based on the OP stack. And so I would not, I mean, this is really a question for people maybe knowing more the OP stack, but why would a project based on the OP stack be more expensive than Optimism itself? Well, I would guess that less people are on it, or I don't know how it works actually.
Yeah, you're right, because
Yeah, it's a shame that the network has high fees if the purpose is to donate, and if you want to have a lot of people donating $1, $2, $3, $5, and if it's, I mean, at the end, everything that goes into fees is things that don't go into project, so it's just burned for nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right to say that. Obviously, it is an optimistic roll up, so it is very cheap actually. But my consideration was about the fact that, seeing that it is a new network, most people who donate on Gitcoin still have not used it yet. So in order to make the first step, they have to bridge funds into it. And for the time being, there's only an option from Ethereum to PNG. So that's why I meant that they could be a bit more expensive, especially for first first time donors that are using PNG for the first time. And do you also agree, guys, Chelsea and Colin?
No, actually, I was looking around PGN, and yeah, it's a optimistic rollup based on OP stack, but on the Gitcoin page where there's this bridge option, then it's only from Ethereum to PGN. But actually, there are some bridges like layer swap, and from layer swap you can even bridge from Starknet to PGN. So there are unofficial, like not unofficial bridges, but yeah, kind of unofficial bridges that allow you to bridge from other chains as well. So it's not that expensive, but it's definitely not the most convenient for donators to be bridging to another network and then making the donation, because it's one more step, and maybe they also have to calculate how much they want to donate and stuff. Maybe if they donate one patch of make one patch of donations, then they explore some other projects that they want to donate. Maybe then they might be too lazy to bridge again or something like that. So but I think in the future, maybe for the first round it might not be beneficial, but in the future, if all the rounds are in PGN, then it might start making sense.
Yeah, that's right. So as you can see, guys, in the main page in the Gitcoin Explorer, you can see the different categories. There's like Web3 open source software, where these three projects that we saw today are listed on. There's the Web3 community and education, where the Nurstar project is listed. Then there are also other like community rounds, like the climate solutions round, and also other rounds related also to specific blockchains and to specific projects. And yeah, I would like to spend 2 minutes in order to share some projects that are like Starknet friendly. And for example, there is the Rollup, an educational DeFi-centric media project. They've been doing an amazing job in covering DeFi cross-chain, so in most scaling solutions. And they also feature Starknet pretty often. So yeah, let's support them in also covering Starknet even more. Then we can we could also support Autonomous House, which is the renowned hacker house, the gaming focused hacker house, organized by Komorebi, a Japanese builder. And this guy basically organizes an hacker house in most important events around the world, and he gathers a lot of like gaming devs, and they experiment on a lot of stuff, included on the Dojo, tool chain developed on Starknet. So they've been working a lot with Starknet related games as well. And then there is a Nación Bankless. There are friends also with the Spanish speaking community that I've been running together with Nadai, Hablando de Starknet. They also came on our show. And obviously, as the name says, they've been like creating a bankless content for for Spanish speaking audience. Then we also have E2 blockchain, which is the Istanbul University blockchain club, if I remember well. And yeah, so they've been organizing events in Turkish universities, and yeah, it is like the Istanbul Technical University blockchain club. And yeah, you could also support them. They've also held some Starknet meetups in the past. And then we also have What the Fuck Academy, and which is a Chinese community, and they are going to do a workshop, a base camp about Cairo and Starknet infrastructure, in order to teach Chinese devs some basics about Cairo 1 and help them onboarding the Starknet ecosystem. Then we have actually a project which is not related to Starknet, but it is a project from our friend Mart from Guatemala. This is his family project. They've been basically growing a green reserve in Guatemala. They've been planting a lot of trees. So if you could help a very active community member from the Spanish-speaking Hablando de Starknet community, we would be very grateful for that. And yeah, that's all for the Starknet friendly related projects. Hopefully, as we said, we'll be seeing more Starknet projects from the next round. Actually, you can still, if there are some projects listening to us, you can still list your project on Gitcoin, on these Gitcoin rounds, until its end. Obviously, the later you post it, the less funds you will get. But otherwise, please apply to the next one. And yeah, having said that, would like to thank all the listeners, all the watchers, the viewers, and thanks a lot. This was the first live stream of my career, so I hope you liked it. We need to make some fix on the resolution when it is seen from the Twitter side. So I will upgrade my plan actually for the next one. But yeah, also thanks a lot to Claman from Starksheet, to Chessie from Carmine, and to Colin from Jedi for your patience and for coming here today on a very short notice. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for
Thank you,
having
guys.
us.
See you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks,
See ya.
guys. Thanks. So it's now time to close. Remember to share the Starknet vibe, and see you the next time. Bye, guys. Take care.